Yo, what up, YouTube? It's Ra. And let me hot you real quick. The reason why everything seems so hard right now, the reason why you feel like there's a lot on your shoulders, that the pain is just growing, is because you're having growing pains right now. When you're ascending to the next level, there's like this purgatory or like this waiting period in between stages. So it feels like, why even try, right? And the reason why is that you probably feel like when you weren't doing anything, when you weren't trying, when you felt like, there was no reason to even try, you felt like life wasn't so hard. And the reason why that is because when you have no care in the world, of course life doesn't feel hard, because when you're not doing anything, you just, days go by as usual. Every day's the same. But once you implement a change or start to implement a routine or try to, lose that weight, try to, put yourself in a better position to propel yourself into success. Now everything seems hard. Everything feels like a whirlwind around you. Everything feels like life is just being thrown at you constantly, and that there's these pitfalls and detours along the way. And that's just the growing pains right now, which is a blessing in disguise, because when you had no care in the world and you weren't trying, when you were just living every day like vicariously coasting, everything didn't feel so hard. But now that you want better, life is going to test you to see, oh, are you in this because you want to be better, or are you in this for, the glitz and glamour? A lot of people are in this for the wrong reasons. And you see the people that are only in it for the glitz and glamour, they don't really last very long. It might feel like that way to you, but eventually they all fall the same way. All roads lead to the same, destination. So you're just experiencing growing pains right now. Yeah, I know it feels like everything's so hard. Everything is like, I shouldn't even try. Why am I doing this? It's because you might have spent the last like however many years just, go to work, go to sleep, go to work, go to sleep. Now that you're like, wait a minute, life is more than just go to work, go to sleep. Now it's all like, wow, when I work out, if I feel all this pain, because you never worked out, so it's gonna hurt. Now, your body, you're gonna feel pain when you work out routinely, but it's gonna feel even worse when you don't normally do it. When you don't normally do things, you actually are starting to implement those changes in your life. It's going, when you don't give in to them temptations, it feels like the end of the world, because you've been doing it for so long that it feels normal to you. Now that you're actually making a change, taking a big step, or just acknowledging the fact that you need to change, acknowledging the fact that you do have a problem, you're going to go through those growing pains. And like I said, when you withstand those growing pains, when you withstand whatever it is that you need to withstand, you will be rewarded for it. Some way, shape, or form, some way, shape, or in fashion, you will be rewarded for going through those growing pains. You will be rewarded by withstanding all that, because you deserve it. Because a lot of people, as soon as they start feeling it, as soon as they start feeling their body ache, oh, they're done, they give up. But you didn't. You're like, nope, I want this, I need this. No matter, if I gotta, if I gotta continue to withstand all this, I gotta continue to withstand all this, because in your mind it's all like, going back to the way you was living is worse than them growing pains. And that's the mindset you need to have. That going back to living mediocre, going back to just coasting every day, days go by, weeks go by, months go by, years go by, going back to that way of living, just go to work, go to sleep, go to work, go to sleep, go to work, go to sleep. That is worse than whatever you're feeling. Your body ache after the workout, that means you're doing something right, because that's how you're supposed to feel. Not giving in to those temptations, not going to that party, not having, that, saying nope, I'm good, I'm good, not today, I gotta go do this, I gotta go, do this. You doing that is putting out an atmosphere that you're ready for the next trial, you're ready for the next stage, you're ready to take this to the next level. That's what you're doing. So withstand that. I know it hurts, it feels like your body's ready to give, but just keep running. Even if you don't know where you're going, just keep running. Your body might feel like it's about to give out. No, it's not. No, it's not. Feelings lie. You don't know how much you can withstand until you push it to the limit. You don't know how much you can withstand until you take it to the next level. Millions of people were in the same position you were, and they kept running. So you need to keep running too. Withstand that. You're just going through them growing pains right now. You in that middle ground right now, that middle stage right now. You in that waiting period right now, and your number's gonna be called. Your number's gonna be called. You gonna get drafted to the team. You gonna get picked to, go to the next level, because you don't know who's watching. You don't know who's watching. And you know, even if nobody, like, you might feel like, oh, it's just me right now. That don't mean anything. The fact that you put it out in the atmosphere, you will be rewarded for that. What goes around comes around. And a lot of people use that in a negative, you know, as a negative saying. But also it's a positive saying too, because if you've been putting out good energy, that's gonna come around back to you. You reap what you sow. So don't let them growing pains discourage you. Don't let the enemy discourage you. That's what the enemy does. They do it to everybody. Good, bad, or ugly, that's what they do. Withstand and make it to the next level. I mean, why go through all that pain to just give up? And then was all for nothing. Just keep trying. You'll see it through. And you will, you know, be so proud of yourself that you did it. But hey, it's Rye. Like, comment, subscribe if you like, and if you're new. And you got this, homie. It's already yours.